Now, this next move, it shocked everyone. In an industry built on loyalty, contracts, and relationships, Matthew McConaughey just straight up ghosted his talent agency. No press release, no drawn-out negotiation, no strategic pivot announcement. He dipped. Quietly. Intentionally. And if you weren't paying attention, you probably missed the bigger meaning behind it. Because this wasn't just about leaving one agency for another. He didn't bounce to get a higher paycheck or a shinier project. He did it for creative freedom. That's a whole different frequency.
And I was the rom-com dude, man.
Yep.
That was my lane, and I liked that lane. That lane paid well, and it was working.
Yep.
So since I couldn't do what I wanted to do, I stopped doing what I was doing, and I moved down to the ranch in Texas, and I went down there and made a pact with my wife and said, I'm not going back to work unless I get offered roles I want to do.
And here's where the twist comes in. Most people saw it as impulsive, reckless, maybe even arrogant. But if you've been following this divine masculine journey we've been unpacking, it tracks perfectly. This is what divine masculine energy does. It breaks systems that no longer align. It doesn't beg for permission. It walks away when the soul says, go. Think about it. After decades in the game, McConaughey didn't need more visibility. He needed more truth, more creative space, more sovereignty over the stories he told. And when an agency, aka the gatekeepers of what's smart for your career, no longer supported that, he cut the cord. Clean. That's not ego. That's alignment. And it's way more radical than it sounds. Because in Hollywood, everyone talks about artistic integrity, but very few are willing to risk actual opportunities to protect it. McConaughey risked everything. He walked away from predictable roles, big checks, and political favors to reclaim ownership over his voice. And here's the kicker. This wasn't some midlife crisis. This was a strategy, built on years of self-reflection, spiritual tuning, and inner clarity. This man didn't leave because he was lost.
A big hinge point in my career was about 15 years ago after I was such a successful romantic comedy lead. The dramas I wanted to do were not being offered to me because Hollywood was saying, no, you stay in your zone, Matthew McConaughey. You're a rom-com guy. It didn't work for over 2 years. Hollywood forgot me. Now, what happened when Hollywood finally forgot me, I found some anonymity again. I had unbranded, and all of a sudden Hollywood called again and said, you know, it would be a novel, good idea for Mud, Killer Joe, Matthew McConaughey.
He left because he finally knew exactly who he was. And he wasn't about to let anyone else put that in a box. So when the industry scrambled to understand his decision, he stayed silent. No damage control. No PR spin. Just action. That's divine masculine energy. Move in alignment and let the world adjust around you. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to explain, it's to exit. And that brings us to one of the most misunderstood symbols in the McConaughey universe. A phrase that seems casual, but is actually a mantra of masculine embodiment. Let's unpack. Just keep